get a 10,000? Can we get a 10,000? Yeah. Low. It's a quiet storm by its nature. A fool's trade is hating. Concerned about it, I ain't even owed a favor. I'm just building with the stakers. The land for the fivers. Hex for the flicks. Yeah, that 6-sided rider. But I thought I told you yesterday.
What's going on, people? It's your boy, Mr. HNC, High Noon Crypto, if you need to spell it out for tax purposes. Back with another episode. It's been a minute. Sorry for the delay. Y'all can go ahead and blame Jack Haynes. He went on vacation, didn't tell me he was going on vacation. And so, he wasn't prepared to work. I'm going to dock his pay. I might have to put hands on the chap. But I don't know. I'm going to think about it. Depending on how this episode comes out. If he does his thing, or he already showed me the thumbnail, looks pretty good, so I might have to give him a pass. So hopefully y'all give him a pass too. But anywho, figured it was time to talk about it. I've missed quite a bit of happenings that I did want to speak on, so hopefully I can keep this episode short and sweet. I had actually made a previous episode before this, and it was pretty much me just ranting. Pretty much just me just ranting about a few different things, mainly being upset at Richard for talking to these idiots, people, Twitter's beefs, just silly stupid shit. But fortunately, I couldn't come up with a creative thumbnail and title, so we just shelled that one. And I got a good one for y'all today: the Pulsechain Phenomenon. Because the more and more I think about it, this really is a phenomenal event. This is like uh, a once in a. It's funny. It's not kind of funny, but it's kind of funny. Like the weather's been out of control lately the last few years, but I remember I think the first time that Houston flooded, and they said pretty much this is like a 1 in an 800 year kind of flood. Um, and when you think about that, you're like, man, like 800 years, and like that's how rare these things are. Even though they seem a little bit more frequent nowadays, but I just remember them saying that. And this is kind of what I think of when I think about Pulse Chain coming out and launching. This being a kind of once in a 800 year kind of event. And I know we like to take for granted that it's a fork of Ethereum. It's, just like Matic, just like BSC and stuff are also forks of Ethereum that are proof of stake instead of proof of work. And it's like, well, those aren't different. Those aren't once in 800 year events. What makes this different? And the thing that makes this different is that it just, the feeling, the vibes, the where you were at. The thing that make most things great in life is not necessarily the thing itself, but the timing of the thing, if that makes sense. Timing, execution, preparation, these are all things that lead into this cataclysmic kind of event that we're barreling towards. Right place, right time. There's a trillion and one different kind of sayings and slogans, but we have to put things in perspective. Now, I used to say this in my earlier episodes. I think I haven't said it in a while. I'm not a Richard Hart maximalist. I'm a Richard Hart realist, which means I'm gonna keep it real about it. I'm not just gonna say that anything he says and does is for the greater good of all mankind, because he is a flawed person, very smart, very intelligent, but he's still a flawed person. And I think some of his flaws have actually helped contribute to why this is going to quote unquote melt faces, as he used to say all the time. And I sit back, and I think about this. My life is dominated by crypto. I'm heavily invested in this, as most of you who listen to me are. And you have a significant horse in this race, just like I do. You know that this could be the chance to literally propel ourselves, our financial, situation, our family, propel us forward 100 years. Just by this one investment, this could be 100 year, you know, kind of event for us, and we have to take it serious. That's why I do get mad at my friends who are not taking it serious, because it's like, understand what I'm saying here. This has the potential. Even if you put $100 in, let's just say you put $100 in to Pulse and PulseX, and they both just do, you know, a 2000x over the next 10 years, right? That's not no small amount of money that you're gonna have. You wouldn't have gotten that in no other investment you could have made. You couldn't put that in no Tesla, no Amazon, no Google, and got that kind of outside returns in 5 years. That is life changing. I've it doesn't have to be millions of dollars for it to be life changing. To me, if I was able to make enough money to pay off my house, clear out all my debt, and stuff like that, that is very life changing to me. So we're right here with very little money to endure life changing gains. And I think that while we understand that, we don't fully comprehend it. Just like we understand Pulsechain, but we don't fully comprehend it. I was scrolling through the Twitters today, and they were talking about the limit orders being put onto the test net. And I know Richard had mentioned about limit orders coming in too. They've been doing it on their private test net, and people don't really understand how important limit orders are. Like we've been waiting for Pulse chain itself to launch for a long time, and he's unveiling that they got limit orders down. You know, since Pulse X is a fork of Uniswap V2, not V3, which, and don't quote me on this, I'm just kind of going off memory. On V3, you can do single sided liquidity, which acts as a limit order. So if you wanted to sell your hex, you could put you could put your hex to it start making you fees at 4 cents from 4 to 5 cents, and as it climbs out of 5 cent range, your position will be converted to ETH, USDC, and then vice versa. If you wanted to buy Hex, you can set your limit order at 3.5 cent, and if Hex dips down to 3.5 cents, it'll start filling. It'll start converting your USDC into Hex. And limit orders, single-sided liquidity, and stuff like that allows for you to be able to market buy large positions without actually having to market buy and worry about getting front run, sandwich attack, and get pushing the price up against yourself and stuff like that. Now, most people think like, oh well, we want people who got large amounts of money to do that, but guess who's gonna have large amounts of money in this ecosystem? It's gonna be us. So thank you, Richard, and the team for putting that in there because I'm not trying to get front run and sandwich attack if I'm trying to cash out some large amount of money that I've made. But there's a lot of little instances of these things. This the innovation, the small little tweaks that the other people who have put out these products before us just didn't do, didn't have the foresight to do, didn't have the mental capacity to pull off, didn't have the development team, whatever you may call it, because we're winning in theory, because it's not out yet. We're winning. You can't tell me that Pulse X buy and burn is not going to be ridiculous. You can't tell me that Pulse Chain's deflationary aspect won't be ridiculous. You can't tell me that a lot of people don't understand, and people try to downplay this and say like, well, people don't care about bigger blocks and higher throughput and stuff. No, they don't care about it until they have to care about it. They care about it when Ethereum gas fees are ridiculous. That's when they care about it. Even though they don't know that those are some of the issues that cause it, the capacity issues and things of that nature. What caused those gas fees to get what they what how high they got? They now know that they needed those things and they wanted those things. They wanted lower gas fees, but you can't get them on Ethereum because they weren't built to sustain the kind of volume and things that it started doing, which is why they are trying to implement sharding and stuff like that. But that's still a pipe dream. That's still a pipe dream. Right now, they're going through the merge. Personally, I hope that the merge goes extremely well because the way crypto works is if the top dogs are doing good, that means everybody's doing good. If Ethereum was to suffer some kind of fatal bug or something right now, it does nothing but hurt the space entirety. Now, that might be to Pulse Chain's ultimate uh, benefit. But I think that we're going to see tremendous amount of gains if you have a few projects. If you the more quality projects you have, the more money that's going to come into the space and rotate around the space. It's kind of like the stock market. Not all the money is going into tech. Not all the money is going into healthcare. Not all the money is going into banks and stuff. But you have those blue chippers in each, and the money rotates through them as more money continues to pile in based off of what's hot. So I hope it goes well because I think that it going well bodes well for the entire space. We're going to see the more money come if Ethereum can pull off the merge and it is good. So I'm not one of those people that are wishing bad on it at all because, like I said, I personally think the next bull run, ETH Pulsechain, Bitcoin are going to just obliterate competition, and I don't think it'd be close. I don't think it'd be close at all because it really can't be close. It really can't be close. No other project, no other blockchain, no other thing has this kind of hype that Pulsechain has. I don't hear people ever talking about Matic. I don't hear people ever talking about Cardano. The only time I hear people talking about Solana is, of course, making jokes of it when it's down. So we're right time, right place. Like we're you know bottom of the ninth, bases loaded, full count, and we know they got to keep the ball. They got to keep the pitch in the batter's box. And they got to give us a chance to hit it out the park. And that's where we're at. That opportunity is right there, and we're ready to hit it out the park. Richard is ready to hit it out the park. He uh he tips his hand to me sometimes about where we are on this whole process of the post chain launching. So he did that interview on Crypto Banner. I think it was maybe like 2 weeks ago at this point in time, and he had the Mike Alfred dude on there, and the other guy. I don't even remember his name, but they pretty much just get on there just to talk crap about Richard. Of course, that's what they have to do. Um, you know, they have to do it, even though I know that they're invested in Post Chain and Post X, and maybe I'm pretty sure even Hex, because why wouldn't you be? The objective of this is to make money. So are you telling me that you have so much money that you're not going to invest in a thing that can potentially make you more money, or do you just really hate Richard that much that you wouldn't invest in it? Either way, it's stupid. Either way, but that's neither here nor there. So we're hearing Richard talk, and he's defending himself, and they're trying to, this is how I get bullish. Like I have bullish indicators when it comes to listening to Richard talk. So the first bullish indicator that perked up my ears was when they was trying to goad him into betting about the hex price, and he pretty much said like, "Listen, man, I got so much I got so much money that like pretty much y'all net worth combined is not worth even worth my wristwatches or something." He said something to that effect, pretty much saying like, "Listen, man, if you think hex price is going to stay low 5 years from now, you must forget how much money I got, right?" And I'm like, okay, yeah, talk that talk, Rich. Talk that talk, Richie, because you gotta let them know that they are some nobodies. That you're the guy, and which is why I get mad that he talks to these people because they are nobodies. That's like me arguing with a sixth grader. Like, who are you? You have no life experience. You don't know nothing about nothing. You're not a creator. You're not an innovator. You're just a guy that buys Bitcoin. Like, whoa, whoa, big deal. Anybody can do that. So I'm like, okay, yeah, Rich, yeah, talk that shit, man. Talk that shit to these motherfuckers, right? But then, he starts talking a little bit more and he's talking about just some of the other things. And, you know, I never once got mad at the outrage marketing because I'm smart enough to see through it. I know that outrage marketing works on the internet. I've watched Floyd Mayweather for years. I watched 50 Cent for years. It's no coincidence that the biggest influencers with the biggest um, followings. There's Ray J right now. He went off and he's threatening to sue the Kardashian clan because he was pretty much saying they keep on trying to say that he leaked the sex tape when it was actual contract and that they signed it. The mom watched it and they were going to send it, to sell it to the people who released it. And he's pretty much that's outrage marketing. Think about that. Think about if your mother had you make a sex tape with somebody else and then watched it and said, I don't think this is good enough. Y'all probably need to go redo this just so you can get rich and things of that nature. So outrage marketing does work, people. The more outrageous, the more it does work. Now, that never bothered me when he did it. I actually wish he did it more. I actually wish he was stunned harder. I wish he was hanging out with Drake and and people like that somehow and was flossing with them. But alas, we never got that far. So when people were like, "Oh, Rich is outrage marketing, he's stealing the money and all that stuff," it was like, "Oh, come on, guys! Like, let's be a little bit smarter than this." So he would do the outrage marketing. He wouldn't really talk about post chain and stuff, but he would drop little tidbits, little updates and stuff here and there. Now, the biggest bullish indicator he gave me during that interview was when he did something that I rarely do, but when I do it, my friends know to shut the hell up and listen. I talk a lot of trash. I'm a trash talker, and it's not like mean. I'm just competitive. I like talking trash, stuff like that. And but they know when I relax the trash talking and I show sincerity and humbleness in my conviction for something, they know they need to shut the hell up and listen and follow because they know that if I'm gonna say like when I told them, I said, yeah, I think this is it. When after I did the post after the post chain sacrifice last year, because I sacrificed first and then I learned about it. But after I learned about it, I was like, yo, I think this is it. Like this that shit for real, for real. And they knew it. My some of my friends, they really took it and ran with it, and they've gotten so much smarter about crypto because they knew that when I dropped the I wasn't saying how great I was and how y'all wouldn't be shit without me and stuff. And they knew I was like, listen, guys, this is that deal. This is the Super Bowl. This is the super play to win the Super Bowl. This ain't Steve McNair and the Titans against the Rams 1 yard short. This ain't Russell Wilson and the Seahawks against the Patriots interception at the goal line. This ain't my beloved Falcons choking away 28-3. This is the opposite of all that. We're on that side. We're on the side of greatness. We're on the side destined for greatness. So when Richard Hart during that interview, and I'm paraphrasing here, he pretty much said, like, they asked him, he said, I really think Pulsechain is going to change everything. I told my friend, I said, add another zero to what you think it's going to do. If you think your money is going to do 1,000x, add another zero to it. If you think it's going to do a 10,000x, add another zero to it. Because as much as Richard, as smart as he is, as much as he knows about this technology, software, markets, blockchain, Bitcoin, sentiment, Ethereum, whatever, for him to relax all of that and just say, like, I really think it's going to change everything. It's going to change. He didn't say it's not going to change lower fees. He didn't say it's not going to change faster blocks or bigger blocks. He didn't say it's going to change fiat on ramps. He said it's going to change everything. Everything. That's a hell of a statement. BSE, a fork of Ethereum. It didn't change everything. Matic Polygon, a fork of Ethereum. It didn't change everything. But Pulsechain, PulseX, the things they're doing. He was talking about the consensus, saying they're trying to figure out the consensus, and they're close. They're close to figuring this stuff out. That they found exploits they could exploit in other blockchains that have forked Ethereum that they don't know about. That the people who forked them don't know about. CZ better watch out. You better fix Coin Market Cap. That's all. You better fix it. Get his chain exploited. But this is the things. These are the things we need to listen to. These are the things we need to pay attention to. These things we need to realize that when somebody like whoever you consider, you think about Muhammad Ali. He all he did was trash talk his opponents. But if when he was humble, people knew that he was serious about it. They knew that it wasn't a show. It wasn't for whatever. He was serious about his convictions and the things he did. When he would show that humility, that humbleness, and not forced humbleness and not forced humility, not being humble and showing that modesty because you had to, you got humble. Somebody you thought you was the baddest on the block, and somebody checked your chin. Not that, but to do it willingly, to like let the people know, like, listen, we we got Thriller on our hands. He's Quincy Jones. He about to release Thriller. He's Quincy and Michael. He about to release Thriller. So we're living in this time, and it's hard to believe sometimes. I was explaining to a friend of mine. She knows nothing about crypto. She just threw some money into PulseX off the strength of knowing me, and she asked me about it. She was reading an email from Robinhood, and she was asking about the Ethereum merge, and I'm trying to explain it to her. I'm trying to break it down to its lowest common like analogies that you can understand if you've never heard anything about this. And then she was like, "Hey, what about that crypto that you got me into?" And I was like, it's still coming along. And she was like, "Well," she's like, "Can you take the time and really explain it to me? Why you always talking about it? Why you think that it's going to do this, that, and the third?" And I explained it to her, and she was like in awe. She was like, it's hard for me to believe because obviously I don't know nothing about this world. It's not out yet and stuff. But she said, I can hear it in your voice that that you really do believe this with all your heart of heart. And that's good enough for me. So, you know, it's crazy, man. It's crazy. It's crazy. It is crazy to think about what we're on the precipice of, the greatness, the glory that lies for us who were just lucky enough or smart enough. I consider myself lucky. I accidentally heard about this shit, and then I realized like I had a duty to learn more about it because this is a once in a 800-year kind of opportunity. You know, this could be that thing. The highest estates dropped the little trailer and the dude saying like this could be the world's first modern day trillionaire. Like think about that. Think about if Richard Hart did become a trillionaire off of off of Pulsechain. That means I at least gotta have at least the 30 million in my pocket. If he can get a trillion off of it, I can at least get 30 million out of it. which is more than enough money for me, more than enough money than I ever need in this lifetime and several lifetimes. I'm a really I really don't spend a lot of money on a lot of stuff unless it's traveling and gambling, which I'm trying to give up the gambling. So just traveling, you know. But that's where we're at. That's where we're at with a lot of this stuff. And every day they just keep on finding new ways to improve it and make it better. And the dotting all the T's and crossing all the I's, as I like to say. And it's just how can we not be in a position to just take it by storm? You know, this next bull market, like the next bull market is going to be insane. I think that with everything that's happening in the world and all the money that has been wiped off, like we talk about the money wiped out of crypto, it's nothing compared to the money that's been wiped out of the global stock markets, not just the New York Stock Exchange and the U.S. market. The global stock market has lost trillions of dollars. The liquidity is drying up. The Feds are supposed to be tightening, but I don't think they're actually tightening yet, according to their balance sheet. I think they're still doing some easing, but it's not as much easing. But imagine when we do hit the bottom, whatever that is, whether that's the energy crisis that might hit Europe in the winter because the Russians don't want to give them gas, whether that's the Russian Ukrainian war, whether that's China Taiwan, whether that's whatever. Once we hit that bottom, and then we start going up, we're going to see just an insane amount of money come back to the markets. An insane amount. It's going to be ridiculous. We're going to see our portfolios doing 100, 200,000%, maybe every other week during the first part of the bull market when it start coming back. There's going to be so much money entering these markets. And then it's like people are still right now trying to buy, uh, shit coins during the bear market. I'm not one of these people to tell you how to invest your money. All I can tell you is that the things that you think, like if I don't think a coin is going to be around during the bull market because of whether it's community, whether it's the shtick of it, I think that we've left behind the dog and ape dog coins and ape NFT pictures. So I think that the next iteration of meme coins and NFTs will be something different. I'm not saying that we won't get no crazy ass, meme coins that pump. I just don't think they're going to be dogs. People are going to find a new creative thing to dump money into. But I wouldn't be buying no apes and dogs right now. I would be buying, Hex. I would be buying the Hedrons. I would be buying that kind of stuff, the Maxis, um, things that have value that I feel they have value tied to Hex. And you might catch some good pumps off of that. I would still buy Hex first because Hex right now at 3 cent 3.37 cent is what's that, like a 15x from its all-time high. And then I think it's going to do another. I think from its all-time high it can easily do another 10x. So you're talking about damn near 150x if my math is correct. From that point, hey, $1,000 right now, that's $150,000. $2,000 right now, that's $300,000. $3,000. You can do the math. We can do the math real easy. How these things gonna pump. And like I said, you don't need millions to change your life. $500,000 tomorrow will change everybody that's listening to this life. I can only imagine. If it won't change your life, then God bless you. You doing 100. You doing great, and I love it. But yeah, just remember, y'all. Things are finna get wicked. They finna get wild. Protect your neck. Protect your seed phrase. Protect your family. Protect everything. Because if we can survive this storm, and it is a storm, there's a lot of crazy shit happening in the world. But if we can survive it, on the opposite end, it's gonna be looking good for us, and those whom we care about. And that's all I believe that most of us really want at the end of the day. I think that the Lambos and the Rollies and stuff is nice. Don't get me wrong, but I think most of us want to just know that, hey, I can provide for me and mine. So that being said, I ain't gonna hold y'all too much longer. Just wanted to speak on this real quick because we're close, man. I think that we're closer than we expect, honestly. I don't necessarily. I thought for a long time that Rich was trying to time the bottom of the market, but I don't even think he's trying to time the bottom of the market now. I think that he knows that they still have some things that they want to button all the way up, and once those things are buttoned up, depending on, like, now obviously if there's like a full out war going on and they button things up, he might hold off on a little bit. I'm not saying that, but I don't think he has the shit ready to go, ready to press launch and because he's waiting for Bitcoin to get to 11K. I don't think he's worried about that. I don't think he's worried about that. So once again, I appreciate y'all that listen. I appreciate y'all that like, that subscribe, that maybe can find some kind of message in the ramblings that I'm doing. But I appreciate y'all. And y'all stay blessed. Y'all stay beautiful. Your boy is out.